I want to start today with a question that might sound almost too simple to matter. What if 2 tiny cloves a day could change the way your body digests food, protects itself from the world around you, and keeps you feeling energetic long into your senior years? I know that sounds bold, but as someone who has practiced medicine for decades and has personally crossed the half-century mark myself, I've learned something important. Sometimes the smallest habits make the biggest difference, especially for those of us over 60. In cloves, those tiny brown buds you probably associate with holiday. Cooking may just be one of the most underrated natural tools we have for digestion, immunity, and energy balance. If you're watching this right now, chances are you've felt at least one of these issues creeping up as the years go by. Bloating that appears out of nowhere, slow digestion after even small meals, immune resistance that isn't as strong as it used to be, or just that sluggish, my body feels heavy today kind of fatigue. I've heard this from countless patients, and yes, I've felt it myself. And the truth is, most seniors assume that these changes are just part of getting older. But what if I told you that your digestive discomfort or weakening immune function isn't because your body is falling apart? It's because it's looking for tools you're not giving it. Let me share something that even many doctors overlook. Cloves are not just spices. They are one of the richest natural sources of a compound called eugenol, an anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial powerhouse that supports the gut lining, calms digestive irritations, and keeps harmful bacteria in check. And for seniors whose digestive systems become more sensitive over time, this tiny compound becomes even more valuable. Imagine having something natural, inexpensive, and incredibly potent that works with your body, not against it, like so many over-the-counter drugs that bring side effects or temporary relief. Now, I want to be very honest with you. When a patient first told me they were eating cloves every day to help with digestion, my first thought was, cloves? Really? I mean, I'd spent years prescribing medications, supplements, and diet changes. But cloves? That felt almost too simple. But curiosity has always been part of my job. So I dug into the research, and what I found surprised me. Cloves support digestion in 3 remarkable ways. First, they stimulate enzymes that break down food more efficiently. When your body produces fewer digestive enzymes as you age, it's like trying to run a washer with barely any soap. The clothes don't clean, and in your case, food sits heavy in the gut. Cloves help restore that natural digestive chemistry. Second, cloves relax the smooth muscles of your intestines. That means reduced bloating, easier bowel movements, and less cramping. Think of it like gently oiling an old door hinge. Suddenly the movement becomes smooth again. And third, cloves reduce gas-causing bacteria. Many seniors don't realize this, but excessive gas isn't always about what you ate. It's about the balance of microbes inside the gut. Cloves help rebalance that system naturally. But the real turning point for me wasn't a study or a textbook. It was a 72-year-old woman named Carol who came into my clinic. Feeling discouraged after years of digestive struggles, she had tried everything: antacids, enzyme supplements, restrictive diets, and nothing made a real difference. When I suggested adding cloves into her morning routine, she looked at me like I'd just recommended magic, but she promised to try. 3 weeks later, she walked into my office smiling for the first time in months. "Doctor," she said, "I feel light again." That's what 2 cloves a day had done for her. Not a miracle. Just simple biology finally working in her favor. And digestion is only half the story. Let's talk immunity, because this is where cloves truly shine for older adults. Your immune system is like the security team of your body. But after 50, that team gets slower, less coordinated, and sometimes misses threats altogether. Cloves contain antioxidants, and not just ordinary antioxidants. They rank among the highest antioxidant spices in the world. These compounds protect your cells from damage, support immune communication, and reduce inflammation that becomes more common with age. One of the biggest silent enemies of seniors is low-grade chronic inflammation, the kind you don't feel, but which slowly affects your joints, brain, heart, and immune cells. Cloves help lower this baseline inflammation so your immune system can function with clarity and strength again. And let me share another story. Robert, a 68-year-old retired teacher, came to me because he kept catching colds every winter, and each time it lasted longer. He felt like his body had stopped bouncing back the way it used to. I encouraged him to build a small habit, to cloves every evening after dinner. Not a supplement, not a fancy superfood powder, just cloves. About 2 months later, he sent me a message saying he had gone through the cold season without a single infection. And of course, cloves weren't the only reason. But did they strengthen his immune defenses enough to make a difference? Absolutely. Now, I know some of you may be wondering, can something so small truly have such big effects? Let me break this down in simple terms. A clove weighs maybe 1/5 of a gram. But inside that tiny bud is a concentrated mix of natural oils, antioxidants, and antimicrobial compounds that your body recognizes immediately. Seniors often struggle with nutrient absorption, meaning even when they eat well, the body sometimes doesn't fully use what it receives. But cloves don't rely on complicated digestive processes to do their work. Their oils release quickly and act directly. This is why many cultures around the world have used cloves for centuries as digestion and immunity boosters long before modern medicine ever existed. Let me tell you how. I personally take cloves. Every morning, usually after a glass of warm water, I take 2 whole cloves and simply chew them gently. The flavor is strong, yes, but that's the signal that the oils are working. If chewing feels too intense, you can soak the cloves overnight and drink the water the next morning. Or you can grind them lightly and sprinkle them on oatmeal or tea. You don't need much, just 2 cloves a day. This isn't about extreme diets or major lifestyle changes. It's about building one sustainable habit that your body can count on. But before you run to the kitchen and start chewing cloves by the handful, let me give you a word of caution. More is not better. Because cloves are potent, taking too much can irritate your stomach. 2 cloves a day is the sweet spot, enough to support digestion and immunity without overwhelming your system. And of course, if you're on blood thinners or have liver conditions, talk to your doctor first. Natural does not mean risk-free. I want you to use this habit safely. What I love most about this tiny habit is how empowering it is. Many seniors tell me they feel frustrated because their health feels out of their control. Medications pile up. Energy goes down. And every new diet or supplement feels like another mountain to climb. But cloves remind us that improvement doesn't always come from big, complicated changes. Sometimes it's the gentle, consistent practices that give the biggest return. If you decide to try this, do it for at least 3 weeks. That's the amount of time your digestive system needs to reset enzyme activity, reduce inflammation in the gut lining, and rebalance microbes. Notice how your meals feel. Notice if bloating reduces, if your bathroom habits become more regular, if your abdomen feels lighter, if your immunity holds up better as the season changes. These tiny daily signals matter. They are your body's way of saying, "Thank you, I can work again." And here's something important I want to encourage you to do. If you're going to try this tiny habit, don't think of it as adding something extra to your routine. Think of it as giving your body something it has been waiting for. So many seniors underestimate the power of natural compounds simply because they are familiar. But familiar does not mean weak. Nature has always designed powerful solutions in the smallest packages, and this is where I want to give you a gentle call to action. If you've been feeling uncomfortable digestion, if your immunity has felt weaker, or if you're looking for a natural habit that helps your body feel more balanced, try adding 2 cloves a day. Not because I'm telling you to, but because your body deserves the chance to work the way it was built to work. And if you try it, come back and share your experience. Your story might inspire someone else who really needs this. The beauty of this practice is not just in the cloves themselves, but in what they represent. Small, accessible steps that seniors can take to reclaim control of their health. We don't always need a prescription to feel better. Sometimes we just need wisdom, consistency, and the willingness to try something new. So here's my invitation to you. Tomorrow morning, place 2 cloves next to your breakfast or your cup of tea. Look at them not as spices, but as tiny tools of healing, tools your body already knows how to use. And commit to giving yourself this small gift daily. You might be surprised by how your digestion responds, how your immunity strengthens, and how your overall comfort improves. Not overnight, not magically, but steadily, the way the body naturally heals when we support it instead of fighting it. If you're over 60, your health journey doesn't need to get harder year after year. It can get wiser. It can get simpler. And sometimes, it starts with something as humble as 2 cloves a day.